Alright, what's going on today, YouTube? Welcome back to your favorite cyclist YouTube channel. This week, we're talking about the difference between a half-link chain and a full-link chain and which one you should run on your bike. But before we get into today's video, if you are new to my channel, make sure you head down below, hit that subscribe button for me. If you already are subscribed, make sure you hit that bell icon down below. That way you get notified every time I upload. That way you don't miss this awesome cycling content we got on this channel. So like I said, today we're talking about the difference between a half-link and a full-link chain. And of course, what you should run on your bike and which one is going to be the better option for you. So let's talk about some basics here before we get closer, and I'll show you guys a little bit closer view of these two chains. So of course, the chain we're replacing today is for my rocker here. It's a little tiny BMX bike, essentially made just to take as much of use as possible. So this is kind of what we're working on today, and what we're talking about chains for is going to be for a BMX or a single speed bike. So with that being the case, as a single speed bike, there's going to be two main chain sizes you're going to run. You're either going to run a 1/8 inch, which is going to be purely for strength, and going to be the largest chain size you'll find on bikes, or you're running a 3/32. A half-link chain is pretty much always going to come in an 1/8 inch. You can find other sizes, but 1/8 inch can be far more common just because of the extra strength it provides. However, a full-link chain, kind of get in whatever size you would like, anything 1/8 inch, 3/32, and on to anything from multi-speeds, you're going to be able to find a full-link chain in. Along with that, full-link chain, you're generally going to be able to have a quick link on there. They do exist for the half-link, but it's far more common for a half-link to just use a pin to connect it together and keep it completely attached, just for extra strength, versus your standard full-link chain is very, very, very common to have a quick link on there. So let's get you guys a little closer. Let's talk more about what a half-link and a full-link chain are. Okay, so first off, let's start off with your full-link chain. As you can see, it looks pretty similar to any kind of chain you'd see on a bike. It has just a separate link, one outer and one inner, and it just repeats itself all the way through the chain line, all the way down either side. So that's what a full-link chain is going to be. It's going to be one of these outer plates right here, so two outer plates, one inner plate. Two outer plates, one inner plate, just like so. It's going to repeat all the way down. And then, like I said, you're generally going to have one of these outer plate pieces here, which is going to be your quick link as well. So moving on to a half-link chain, what this is, essentially it is both those links combined. So it's going to be one outer and one inner combined together into one link versus having them two separate. So as you can see right here, if you look in there, so you can see it's a bunch of those inner links all together. You can see that the plates bend in and kind of make it outer and inner and connect itself together. So with that being the case, there aren't two separate links, they're all going to be the same thing. So you can kind of see here at the end where it mounts to, so there's kind of the inner portion of the half link right there, and there is your outer portion right there. So these two would just go right together, just like that. And there's your link for the chain right there. So you can see it kind of connects just like that. Versus our standard link just has two female ends. Just has two of the inner ends right here, and they're connected by an outer link. So what's the big deal with a half-link chain? So a half-link chain is really going to be big in the single speed community, and that's because with a half-link chain, you're able to get your chain tension a lot more precise and a lot more accurately and consistently. So with a standard chain, if I wanted to shorten this down to get a little bit tighter chain tension, I would have to take out 2 links in order to actually get that. That's essentially going to be that long that I have to take out in order to shrink it down one size so I can try and get my chain tension a little bit tighter. It's going to be that long there. Versus a half link chain, all I have to take out is one of these links, and then I can just attach to the next one. So as you can see, instead of shortening it 2 links, we just shorten it 1 single link. So as you can see, it could be a lot more precise for a single speed, trying to get proper chain tension and proper positioning of the rear wheel and the dropouts, to use a half link chain on there just to get more precise measurements, and they're especially with shorter dropouts, which the little rocker does have short dropouts on it. Another thing you'll notice with the half link is the half link is far beefier than just your standard chain, and you can definitely see that both of these are 1/8 inch chains, and that half link chain is quite a bit beefier and burly, I guess you could call it, than just your full length chain. So now some people will tell you that a half length chain is going to be weaker than a full length chain. I disagree with that. I think the half link chain, especially just looking at side by side, the half link chain is going to be a much stronger chain than a full link chain. Now, it's not something I think really makes a huge difference, but looking at how they look and feeling in my hands, the half link chain definitely feels like it's going to be a much sturdier chain than your full length chain. Now, Like I said, it's mainly for single speed bikes where you'd see this, and you see the half link chains a lot on BMX bikes, and that is because of that adjustability and getting the rear wheel where you want it. And you'll see that because on a multi-speed bike, if you've only ridden one of those, you know the wheel fits in the dropouts in one place and one place only, and that's just where the wheelbase is set from the manufacturer. If you look at a lot of single speed bikes, they actually have horizontal dropouts on them, and so the horizontal dropouts allow you to position that wheel wherever you would like in that horizontal dropout, which then lets you change the wheelbase by anywhere up to probably an inch or two. You can change that wheelbase on the bike and it makes it handle quite a bit differently. So with this half link chain, you can make those adjustments very precisely and find exactly the wheelbase you want to ride on your bike. So there's one thing I do want to add with these chains here. So a full link chain, you can get a full link chain, you can get a full half link chain. For the full link chain, you can actually buy individual half links, just like this guy right at the end here. And so you can put one of these half links onto the end of a full length chain. That way you can get a little bit more adjustment out of your chain if you need that. There's definitely nothing wrong with that. It definitely works really well. In my case, I want to see how long this actually takes to stretch out. In my opinion, what I've seen, the half link chain takes a little bit longer to actually stretch out than a full length chain does. In this case, this is the chain off of the mini rocker. This chain is stretched out beyond bad, so that's why I'm actually changing this out for a half link chain. So I actually try a half link chain out for myself for the first time ever and see how it actually is. So some of you may be saying, you said the half link chain appears to be stronger and looks like it's going to be the stronger chain. Can I run a half link chain on my multi-speed bike? And realistically, you're not going to want to do that. The biggest thing is with a half link chain, it's set up for a single speed bike, so it doesn't have the ability to ramp through the gears like a multi-speed chain is going to be. Along with that, with the thickness of this, an 1/8 inch, it's going to be much too wide to actually run on a multi-speed bike. It's going to get bound up and not be able to shift through the gears as smoothly as the proper multi-speed chain would be able to. So I hope this video was able to explain some of the differences between a full link chain and a half link chain. For some of you, this may be the first time you've seen a half link chain, and you might understand why BMX guys and single speed guys use a half link chain or use just a half link, and what this is when you actually see it on a bike. If you're interested in this half link chain, I'm going to have a link in the description down below so you can take a look at it for yourselves and pick one up for your single speed bike. And of course, if you want to stay tuned for our next video, we're actually going to be installing this half link chain on the mini rocker. So stay tuned for that. You'll be able to see how this chain is actually installed and how much different it looks than just your standard chain on a bike. If you enjoyed the video or at least learned something from it, give this video a big thumbs up. Appreciate the support. Any comments or questions, let me know down in the comment section below. Love talking to you guys. Love answering any questions you guys have. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching today.